Welcome, people of the internet. This is Various Fields. I'm Lex.
I'm Hazen Fields II.
And I'm Hazen Fields III. How you doing today?
Hello, hi everybody. Man, we had some kind of week here in New York.
Oh, yeah. What exactly happened?
Well, why don't you guys, someone tell the people. I'm so filled with excitement. I want you guys to
All right, I'll tell my story because this was actually kind of funny. We had an earthquake in New York. I think the epicenter was
in New Jersey.
In New Jersey. That's right. And then, so we got the tremors a little bit in where we are.
Yeah. What was it, 4.8 or
4.8 was the register, yep.
4.8.
4.8, which is a fun level. It's weird to think about because you don't get things like this in the city or this area as much as we think, as much as, at least in my time, I'm not used to it at all. Right. So it's always kind of a frightening thought at some points, but as far as tremors go, this was one of those, like, I think it shook a little bit people up, like, unfortunately, no pun intended. But like nothing, no dangers. I didn't hear about anything crazy. Nothing dangerous that went on.
But what happened? You were going to tell us what happened.
So I was moving out of my apartment. I'm just moving to a bigger apartment as of right now. And because of that, doing a lot of cleaning, and I put a whole bunch of clothes in my dryer, and my dryer is a little bit small, so it shakes a bit. But so the second I turned my dryer on, my dryer started shaking a bit. But then my apartment started shaking a bit, and then my apartment complex started shaking a bit, and my first thought was, I put too much clothes in.
See that? Look at that.
Yeah,
wow.
It's kind of funny because I know we're probably used to seeing like large vehicles pass down the street, and like minor tremors will happen that may shake a building every once in a while. Like if it's a huge construction load or something like that. And that's exactly what I thought it was when I was working in the middle of my business building. But everyone was saying, no, it shook like the foundation of the building. And that's what everyone was concerned about. I was like, all right, let's all check it out and figure out.
Wow.
And then once I started getting calls from you, and then Mom started calling me, and then everyone was like, what was that? It was like, okay, so it wasn't a truck that went by. So
and it's crazy to me that different parts of the world, they have earthquakes often. California, I understand. I met a young lady that, while I was doing some Meals on Wheels with some of the people I support, and she's from Southern California, and she did not feel the tremors from where she was at. Because just because you're in New York didn't mean that you felt it. There's certain places people didn't feel it, and but she missed it, and she was disappointed because it was like, earthquakes was like, I guess, is like the sound of home,
like all the rage.
It's like man, I missed. She was like, it was like nostalgia for like, oh man, I missed it.
That's funny. It's weird because like I think I was talking to Mom about this a little bit ago, but like in other places like further down south and stuff, they may not be used to our level of snow or something like that. But it's weird because snow, at least maybe because we're used to it, but even for like during a snowstorm. It's not all that devastating. You have to be careful on the roads, things like that, but you can more or less be okay. But they're like, I guess it's not, but we're not used to earthquakes. We're not used to, and I feel like the comparison from an earthquake to snow isn't the same. Like, I feel like an earthquake, no matter what, is like, I could be different, but just is a little more throwing off. Like, if the foundation of everything is literally moving, and people can just go around the day like, oh, okay, like, just shake their coffee a bit and keep pushing.
But I think it all depends, again, I think it's all regional. It depends on what you're used to. I was telling a friend that also, I lived in this city, and it was not uncommon to hear trains go by. Some people live near elevated trains. And so, you hear elevated, people say, oh my God, I don't want to live near an elevated train. That's horrible. It's, you think I can't go to sleep. But imagine if you grew up with it all your life and that's all you heard. Because I remember moving in, we moved from Lower East Side of Manhattan to Queens when I was a kid. And when I was a kid growing up, I'm kind of blending a couple of things. I wasn't too scared of, monster movies because at the time I was growing up, monsters never, came into the projects. So, you push the elevator button, wait, and stuff like that.
Right.
Get to the 6th floor and then come to 6B, and like, Jason.
Like, it's a Freddy Krueger is you just need to figure the apartment building.
Exactly, So you never, but when I moved to Queens, and this was after The Exorcist came out. Some time after The Exorcist came out. But I've never heard so much quiet. because I went to sleep by hearing the sound of tin cans rolling in the wind. So in other words, when I was asleep, part of what would have been my peaceful noise, how people, depending upon what it's like, you have these the sound effect things that like do rippling water and stuff,
white
like
noise.
that. White noise.
Like the first house that we lived in, we were actually fairly close to a train station, or at least some type of train track. I remember like going to sleep at the sound of like the trains rolling through the tracks.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was distant enough for it to be almost like a nice little like. It was soothing to hear. It wasn't like so close. It's like, oh, like stop that racket out there or anything like that.
Right,
but it was just like the ta 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 ta, and it was like, all right, yeah, I know you're home. And then coming up into this capital region, you didn't really see a lot of that. You didn't hear a lot of that. So now everything else you're hearing is probably like cars screeching in the street, which was a little more unsettling. It was just a little higher pitch. You hear like either cats or other creatures howling in the night, and it's a different type of disquiet that just. I don't know. It didn't put me at ease until you get used to the region.
Right.
So
and when it's minus, like I said, when you get when the Exorcist thing, when we're quiet, it was quiet, and I finally heard no noise. I became frightened because it was like I was chuckling to myself, but then it became unnerving and awkward because I've never been in so much quiet and hearing crickets. I've never heard crickets in the city. And stuff like that. So it's amazing. I guess this could be the subject could be a testament to the human condition and how we can adapt, how adaptable humans are.
Yeah. I can say that. I did similar story for everything else. My roommate now that I live with comes from more of a rural area, so they're very used to quiet. But the same thing, so because of that, they just where now is more of a downtownish kind of area, so they're getting used to more of the noise. But like anytime I stayed over at their place or something like that, like the same thing, the quiet would always get to me. But also it's the quiet and like. Sometimes it's so quiet you can hear silence, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So it's weird because, like, at the very least, I'd much rather, even if something bad is going on, I'd much rather be in the city because, like, if, God forbid, something bad happens, if you scream, at least someone can hear you. There's something, like, people are around, something like that. But if you're just out in the middle of the rural area, is a coyote going to help you? Probably not.
Well, but yeah.
What's going on? I'm glad you called.
It's called coyote, not wolf.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a little amount of coyote savings that we hear. There's a man saved by a coyote.
I'm here for representation. We see you, coyotes. We see you.
Oh, I'm sorry. And to the coyote community, people who are believing in coyotes, we're not saying that they're unable to help people. They very well may have.
I'm just more used to the Wiley kind.
Oh, there we go. Here we got there. Yeah. We're just beginning the conversation, and we're going to talk about all the buttons again. What are you saying?
All the buttons, yes.
All the buttons.
Yeah, like, subscribe, hit all the buttons below this screen or wherever the screen might be appearing on your interwebs, right? Please, we will love to hear your feedback. We love your input back and forth as we talk more about various fields on various fields. We'd like to add you as part of the discussion. So come along, be a part of the community.
So adaptability is kind of like where we're kind of going through, and we're kind of saying you can learn, or people live in certain situations and they are adaptable to it. Like there are people who live in extreme cold weather, and when we were kids, used to call living in igloos. And I'm moving away from the name I was taught at the time as a child.
Very nice.
Yeah, because Inuit. That's exactly Inuit. Is Inuit?
I believe it's
Inuit. And that's why I didn't want to throw it out there because I wasn't too sure exact. But Inuit, I believe, is correct.
Yes.
And there are those, at least in old times, that they would adapt to live in igloos. And I hope igloos are still okay. And that's amazing to me that you can make an actual home out of ice.
Right.
I just imagine, how do you meet people there? You gotta get tired of icebreakers.
Oh,
you have to do it, right?
Can I say Waka Waka?
Wow.
Is that patent pending?
Yeah, you know what? I think me and my sons, we all suffer with one-liners disease,
also known as malapanatosis.
Oh, wow, very good, malapanatosis.
We need a golf clap on the audio thing.
Yeah. Actually, I think we need one boo in there.
On this podcast, I want to get like one scholarly looking gentleman, just like somebody like a top hat. He just walks in. Well done, sir. Well done. Shakes hands and walks off screen. That's all.
Yeah. We need a little bit of that. Something. Yeah, we'll ask Nels if he can put that in there. So someone with a grimacing look like.
Nels, you look great in a top hat.
Like, just acknowledge that we have humor. That's all it is.
That's it. The look of disapproval. No, thank you. But anyway, but going back to that. But seriously, in the human experience, it's amazing what people can adapt to. We talked about sounds. Some people love. There's some people that will say, I love being in a place that's loud. And then there's people that want to live in the country. I don't want to hear anything. So what's your guys' preference? Do you like noise in the city, or do you like the silence of the country?
Noise in the city sounds like an album. It's like an album.
It probably was.
I'm somewhere in between, honestly. Like, I like it when it's expected. Like, I don't really know what kind of noises are. I don't really know. Like, because there is a certain level of quiet that I do enjoy. All right. Like, every once in a while, now that I'm particularly used to this area, I often hear owls hooting in the middle of the night, and that's kind of like.
Oh, you hear owls?
Every once in a while. Like, it's not like a nightly thing. Or like I expect it to happen every night, but like you would hear it like. Ooh, I'm like, it's me, But
I like the fact that you actually did the imitation.
I feel as if they're asking questions to have the start of the conversation, more icebreakers, just if you will. Who, how, why, where.
That's great. Right. So what about yourself?
So I honestly, I put a lot of I'm not sure pride, but like I like being adapt into learning spaces, so I don't think either bothers me too much now. I guess if I've been camping a long time, but if I'm out camping and I hear like a random sound, that will get to me. But otherwise, there's not too much noise bothers me, not too much silence. But I will say it's like, I think I've gotten used to, again, like the area is a little different where I'm like, now I'm like, sometimes the area where we are right now, things shut down a little earlier than what I'm used to, and then get kind of they don't stay open as late, and then as opposed to the city where things can go out all night. So I feel like I'm kind of in between in terms of living area, not just sound, but just like a little bit more activity than what we're currently used to in this immediate area, and then but not as much as the city.
Yeah, and there's really the major complaint about being in the capital region compared to the city. There's a lot less to do here. It's like that's what people often hear people saying. Is like, again, air quotes around that, because there's always activities happening in the capital region, right? But I guess everyone's so used to the hustle and bustle, more air quotes, in the city, right? So there's and again, known as a city that never sleeps. There's always like something's open. There's always lights on. There's always something you can visit even after you visited another place, right? Up around here, things close around like 10:30, 11, right? So I guess people know, if you're lucky, right? And a lot of things have changed even after COVID, right? A lot of the curfews have been kind of like pushed back to like 9:30, so a lot of different other areas that are still acclimating to this post-COVID environment. So,
well, one of the things I miss growing up, when we in summertime would come out, I would know, or when it started to get warmer, people would bring congas out, bongos, and you'd hear boom, gong, gong, gong. And it's and you could hear the sounds of people playing, and people would be in the middle, right outside. I lived at Jacob Reese Projects, and they would be outside, and people would be playing drums and singing, and then you hear cowbells and stuff like that. That was like almost but it was like not just exclusive to Jacob Reese Projects. You would go around at the time, and I'm talking circa, late 60s, 69, 70, where it was, I don't know, it was a community thing, and it was just really hip just to, see cats out there playing music and drums and music and stuff like that. So you knew summertime was coming.
Right.
So that I miss that, seriously.
Trey said something earlier, actually, as we were driving up here, when she saw a motorcycle go by, and goes, I guess that's a sign of spring, which is fun, which is good. I didn't think about that, but you're not wrong. Like, people don't drive motorcycles during like the winter when it's icy and stuff. But I did say, you said it kind of like you saw a bumblebee going by, but I thought it was the motorcycles are out. Look, it's a sign of spring. Motorcycles in the air.
Like, it's actually funny now that I'm like in I'm not in Albany. I'm actually in Schenectady, but like there is a certain group of kids that come around in that area that often ride bikes up and down the street. I don't know if you see a lot of that in Albany, right? But like you see a lot of that. Like more so in the springtime, right? And it's like proof that it's warmer weather. Everyone's using like their I guess their seasonal means of transportation more frequently now.
Okay, all right. See, now you've made me make a hard left turn. Okay. Young people, anybody. If you're out in the street and you're doing stunts and you're not getting paid by some type of sponsor and you're just risking your life for free, even if you're being paid, please don't do it. I don't understand it. I feel like the craziest old man in the world because people think that they're enjoying. They get on the bicycles. First they do it on the bicycles, and I don't understand where are the police. I get pulled over for like the slightest infraction. Here they have an army of bicycles, and they're doing wheelies in the middle of the street. And young people, please, your lives are so precious. Why are we doing? Someone, when this finally gets to you, someone tell me why is that attractive?
Because it's cool.
Because it's cool?
I'm not saying I personally think it's cool. I'm just saying I feel like that's one of those things with the thought process. The thought process is like, hey, look, I can do a wheelie. Whoop, and that's it. That's the whole process. I don't think it's that deep.
I've always wanted to do a wheelie when I was younger, but I never was able to get it.
You never got Heelys on?
No. Stop it. I see what you're doing. I always thought doing a wheelie was cool on a bike, all right? But I never intended to ever do it in the middle of the freeway, But at the same time, I don't think anyone should actually I like your message because you're saying don't do it unless you're sponsored, which is interesting.
No, okay.
To me. I kind of want to go back to that.
No. Okay. Let me change that for all the people. Because you're right.
Don't risk your life without money down first.
Before you do anything, you need branding.
Absolutely.
Speaking of branding,
it ain't worth it with a couple of thousand G's first.
Yeah, okay, you're absolutely right. Okay, my point I'm trying to make is that when I was growing up, they used to have these. They have people. I feel like they used to have people called daredevils. You ever heard of that? They used to have. There was a guy.
Weevil Knievel.
Evil. Did you say Weevil?
Evil Knievel.
Evil.
Okay.
Is that Weevil?
He's not a bug. Sorry.
Little fair with a helmet. Weevil Knievel. Look at him go.
He would be cute. Evil Knievel was a guy. He would come on. This is during a time when television shows would only come on. Once a month or something. Right. And he'd do these big things, and he'd be sponsored by STP or something like that. Some kind of car, whatever.
Yeah.
And he'd jump over mountains. And it was dangerous. He broke all of. I think he eventually broke all of his bones.
That's impressive.
But not that I'm supporting that idea, but I'm saying in my mind, well, at least he's on the television special. He's got a show. He broke his bones and got some pay for it. But now these young people, okay, so let me go back. My son's absolutely right. Don't even do it for pay. Just stop doing it. You guys are going to kill. You guys are young. 15, 16, 17. And then the guy, and I don't even know if it's
that's
worse.
A different thing. You said 15. Wait, are you? All right, I have to know. Are you talking about bikes or are you saying motorcycles?
I'm saying both. They sometimes they ride in tandem.
Tandem bikes?
There are some. I've seen it in my area.
You've seen someone do a wheelie on a tandem bike?
No. I'm saying they would.
Jeffrey, hold on.
That's a talent. Paid for that.
That's an active couple. I tell you. No, I've seen guys. This is serious. I'm trying to make a message to the young people. No. I've seen guys who are older. They'll be on motorcycles or some type of motor two-wheeler thing, and then next to them they'll have kids following behind like Pied Pipers on bicycles, doing similar things, but they're in the middle of the street,
right.
Randomly doing things, and sometimes it's impressive, but it's like the outcome could be death. All right, so that's my message. That's my message today.
Sometimes it can be impressive, guys.
We went from adaptability to irresponsibility. So I don't know exactly where that tie-in is.
I don't have a tie-in directly, but I do have a question. How do you feel about unicycles? Because technically that's a person consistently doing a wheelie.
No, I don't mind anyone doing anything in a safe environment. A unicycle in and of itself is not unsafe.
Well, it's unsafe to the social cue, I guess.
It is not. Okay. there are many forms of vehicles that are safe, but you can make them unsafe by, like in other words, a pogo stick in and of itself is a safe thing. But I wouldn't advise you doing it on the side of a cliff. You know what I'm saying? You're one pole from going over a cliff.
Extreme sports.
You know what I'm saying?
Pogo stick.
Yeah, I mean, okay, all right. See, so we're doing there. We're going there. What was it called? Parkour?
Parkour, yeah.
Hardcore parkour.
You ever
Hardcore,
hardcore parkour? These are these guys. You'll see them and they'll be on the edges of buildings. Doing handstands, and they're showing it. They're on the what is it? Skyscrapers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but don't say yeah like that. No, your yeah sounds approving.
No,
It's not approving. It's like
it's anything. It's like
No, but
acknowledgement of
it's-
how impressive it is.
No, my yeah is always going to be yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want to show that I'm
Disapproving
Is
of
it
parkour.
is it an age thing specific? Because you also mentioned age a lot, or is it just dangerous? Because I want what's the most dangerous thing someone can do reasonably?
I tell you what, I don't think there should be any reasonable danger thing.
But there's always there's at some point I just
What'd you say, Nels? Driving.
Driving. It says reasonable danger.
driving is dangerous. See that's the question. I just want to know the danger to reasonability scale.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a scale called what was it?
OODA loop?
No. What's the F around and find out scale?
That's funny.
Right? Right? So is there a level of F around that you can actually adhere to?
No, I don't think so. You see, this is where the age thing comes into. Okay. So just in case some of my friends will come and call me out, we did do dangerous things, no doubt.
Yeah.
We did, but this level of danger, the bikes and the parkour on the side of
You think it's new? Huh? You're saying it's new? Because I'm pretty sure people did parkour. I don't think that's been around since the French Revolution.
No, but
What is it? That's how
it's not new, but the way it's being done now, I think there's a flagrant. It's a flagrant.
You smell nice. You're doing backwards. You smell nice.
I'm getting my L's and R's mixed up.
Flagrant,
So
yeah.
flagrant, yeah.
Flagrant.
There's a disregard, not a flagrant disregard.
Wait, I just like the. How dare you?
Disregard by Fabergé. No. There's this disregard for life. I think that I'm not going to try to. I think that God gives us life, and I think sometimes people get so bored with life that they decide to literally put their life on a string and bungee jump and say, "Hey, it's exciting to almost lose your life," and as opposed to I want to go experience and read a book, get something. And
How good the string is. So I feel like I could go bungee.
All right, so let me ask, how do you feel about hunting? Because at one point in time, people always called that, and I think they continue calling that sport. So at some point in time, it was deemed as a recreation equal to a way of life.
See, I don't like hunting as a sport. We have to get food or something like that. That's a little different. But hunting, I think hunting will be good when animals are allowed to shoot back. Then that would be sport.
Looney Tunes?
Hey, I'm saying, in other words, if you see a deer with a gun on the other side of your binoculars with their own binoculars and the same gun, it may, deter you from.
No, deers have another way of hunting. It's jumping in front of cars.
Well, I'm saying, no, but the point is, we as human beings, we have an unfair advantage because of our thumbs and our brains, I guess. Does that make sense?
No.
That was the worst way.
Is that what the difference
You're not
is?
wrong.
No, I mean that's the difference. No, someone out there on my side. Okay.
Have you ever seen downplay the human evolution? Thumbs and our brains.
Why did I evolve?
No, but
With a brain and two thumbs. This guy.
But what I'm saying is, like kangaroos. We've been taught a long time ago that kangaroos are the beautiful marsupials. They're dangerous. They try to drown. Did you know that? Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that.
Kangaroos. That's how they. How did we get here? We made an extreme left turn.
You took the first left turn.
Did I?
I don't even know where we're
no,
going.
because you started out with the kids. Anyway,
You intentionally made that turn in Albuquerque,
Okay, all
so
right,
I don't know
all right,
what's going on.
we got 4 minutes. We got 4 or 6. 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
All right, listen. I'm so sorry. We wow,
a great time.
I think we had too much fun. I hope listen. Let's go back to like and say all the stuff that we supposed to say.
Like, subscribe, hit all the buttons.
Hit all the buttons.
Listen, guys, if you don't like kangaroos, tell your friends. That's what Various Fields is all about. It's
In
about
Australia, are kangaroos like the deers of down under? Like, tell me that, because I've always wanted to know. Like,
we're trying to tie this all together, right?
We're trying to tie it all together. Okay,
so I think the main point is if you see a kangaroo in the middle of the street doing a wheelie with a gun, run. It's a talented kangaroo, but he's dangerous.
Are kangaroos part of your Hallmark card, like snow and blizzardy scenes in the Northeast? Like what? And do you go down to like get little tremors down in California? Like, let's shake things up. Is that part of the Hallmark card? I just want to know.
On a bike doing a wheelie with a gun. You're on the wrong part of town.
I have a friend that he hates marsupials. I'm not exactly sure why. Specifically, he
hates marsupials.
He talks about how wombats, when they defecate, they make perfect squares.
Well, if you start with defecation, I can understand why you dislike any animal.
No, but a square. When they poop squares. Did you know that?
Nerds.
No, did not know that. I did not know that.
Wombats are the nerds of the marsupial. Yeah, but anyway, I guess let's all tie it into adaptability.
Make it work.
I'm gonna make it work. Here we go. Give me a little drum roll, please. Wherever you live, what animals you see, the people around you, we learn to deal with kangaroos going across the field, just like we deal with deers coming past us. No matter where you are as a human being, we learn to adapt to that environment.
That's very interesting.
So that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Like,
actually, I believe, like, what was it? Like, I believe the word kangaroo itself was meant to be called, like, it was supposed to be an I don't know, I believe.
Kangaroo means I don't know. So yeah. I will say a kangaroo means I don't know. Apparently, I have to do this really quickly. The Aboriginals of Australia, people who are native there, I guess people who were either colonizing or also people came over that weren't from there. They were trying to ask, like, what animals and things like that, pointing out because they hadn't seen kangaroos before. The translation of kangaroo technically is I don't know, but that never got translated. They thought they were just pointing to the animal and calling it I don't. So that's my favorite bit ever. So technically kangaroo just means I don't know.
In interpretation, I can imagine the conversation going like, hey, what is that over there? And they are literally saying, I have no idea what you're saying. Yeah. Right? I mean, like, I have no idea what you're referencing. Right? So whatever it is, whatever the kangaroo in your life is, the je ne sais quoi, whatever it might be, right? Adapt to it.
Yeah.
Well,
did that work? I don't know.
I think that worked all right. Well, listen, we say here, my father used to say, we don't know anything. Not just the three of us here, but human beings in general.
We can now say it in three different languages.
They used to say that to you? We don't know. Just the three of us. Yeah, I don't know anything.
But he included humankind and how much we don't know and some of the things we don't know. So yes. So very much like a lot of things in our life, we have to learn to adapt. Even if we don't know exactly what it is, we learn to adapt. And that's what we're doing here at the Various Fields. Yeah, we are building on this, and we hope that this is an interesting conversation.
This podcast itself is about adapting, so adapt to us as you try to figure out what this conversation is about.
Right.
And please like and subscribe, share it for friends, all the buttons.
And if you tell your friends what we talked about today, you can tell them we said kangaroo.
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 We'll see you next time.
Take care, everybody.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.